The galaxy held its breath. In the great chamber of Earth's Grand Council, a single blast echoed like thunder. The leader of humanity, High Chancellor Elias Ward, staggered, his white robe stained with red. His hand reached for the podium, but his strength failed. The chamber fell into silence so heavy it seemed to choke the air. Billions across the stars watched live through galactic broadcasts. Every human colony, every alien ally, every rival power, none could look away. The image of humanity's leader collapsing spread in seconds, faster than any fleet could travel. No one dared speak. No one dared move. Only the whispers began. Who dares strike Earth? Elias Ward had been more than a politician. He was the voice of humanity in the wider galaxy. Born on the ashes of the last war, he rose to power not by greed, but by vision. He dreamed of peace, of humans standing equal among the elder races, not as servants, not as conquerors, but as partners. In his speeches, he often said, "If we must fight, we will. But if we can build, we must." His words touched millions. Colonies that once fought bitterly found unity. Soldiers who lived only for war learned to hope. And that was why he was killed. The assassin had moved like a shadow. Cloaked in alien tech, unseen by guards, unseen by cameras until the final second. A gloved hand, a flash of light, and the Chancellor's life ended in front of the galaxy. By the time security fired back, the figure was gone, dissolved into smoke and sparks. Panic erupted in the chamber. Guards rushed in, ambassadors shouted, some cried, some fled. But the galaxy outside watched calmly, almost eagerly. For to many alien empires, Elias Ward had been dangerous, not because of his weapons, but because of his dream. A peaceful, united humanity was far more terrifying than a fractured, desperate one. The Imperium, the Dominion, the Velari Confederacy, they had all mocked humans as reckless and short-lived. But Ward was changing that story. And change frightened those who thrived on fear. News spread like wildfire. On human colonies across the stars, screens went dark after showing his fall. People filled the streets, silent, shocked. In orbital stations, workers dropped their tools and stared at the broadcasts. On Mars, a young girl asked her mother, "Who will protect us now?" The galaxy whispered in unison, "Without their leader, humanity will collapse." The Dominion's propaganda networks began their mockery within hours. "The humans are children," their anchors laughed. "Cut off the head, and the body will fall. Soon they will beg for protection." Even some neutral species believed it. Humanity had lost wars before. They had been divided for centuries. Surely this was the end of their brief rise. But in the shadows, fury was already building. On a hidden base near the asteroid belt, General Marcus Hale smashed his fist onto the table. "Assassins in our own council. Aliens dare spill blood on Earth itself." His voice shook with rage. Others tried to calm him, but none could. For deep down, they felt the same. In the outer colonies, miners turned off their drills and swore oaths of vengeance. In military academies, cadets raised their hands to volunteer for war before any orders were given. On starships far from Earth, captains gathered their crews and vowed to fight if the chance came. They mourned their leader, yes. But beneath the grief, something older stirred. Something primal. The galaxy had forgotten one thing: humanity was at its strongest when wounded. At the Chancellor's funeral, the skies above Earth burned with ships holding position in silence. Millions stood together, heads bowed, not a sound heard except the slow toll of the great bells. The coffin was lowered, draped in Earth's blue and white banner, as leaders of colonies placed their hands upon it one by one. To outsiders, it looked like sorrow. To humans, it was a vow. Among the mourners, a young commander named Arya Voss stood tall, her eyes dry, her fists clenched. She whispered under her breath, "They think we will kneel. They will see us rise." In secret meetings, intelligence officers studied the assassin's tech. It was alien, Dominion design. The message was clear: this was no rogue act, no accident. It was a warning. Submit, or be destroyed. But the galaxy had miscalculated. Humanity did not break. Humanity remembered. Humanity planned. The fire of vengeance spread, silent but unstoppable. In the homes of the poor, in the halls of soldiers, in the quiet minds of scientists, one thought united them all: They killed him because he sought peace. Then let them taste our fury. The stars would soon learn. And so the first chapter of vengeance began. The leader of Earth had fallen, but his dream did not die with him. In the shadows of grief, new voices rose, steel and fire in their words. The galaxy would soon tremble, not at the fall of humanity, but at its rise. Because when Earth mourned, Earth did not surrender. When Earth bled, Earth did not bow. And when Earth's leader fell, humanity swore that the stars themselves would remember their fury. The galaxy did not sleep that night. Every screen, every transmission, every whisper across the stars carried the same image: Earth's leader falling in silence, blood on his robe, eyes fading. On alien worlds, markets paused. In hidden war rooms, generals smirked. In crowded taverns, people bet on how long humans would last without him. The Dominion laughed the loudest. Their state broadcasts replayed the assassination again and again, each time with mocking words. The humans cry for peace, but peace dies with their leader. They are weak. They are lost. They will soon kneel. Other empires remained quiet. The Velari sent condolences laced with false sympathy. The Syndicate offered security forces to protect human colonies, for a price. The Zorath swore they had no hand in the murder but praised the new opportunity that had opened. The galaxy's predators were circling. But beneath the silence of mourning, something else was moving. Something the galaxy had forgotten. On a colony near Proxima, a boy no older than 12 stood before his father's grave. His father had been a soldier in the last war, buried without honors after dying far from home. The boy stared at the broadcast of the Chancellor's death, tears burning his eyes. "First my father," he whispered. "Now him. They think they can take everything from us." That night, he swore to join the fleet. He was not the only one. Across colonies, recruitment centers overflowed with volunteers. Students, workers, miners, and even old veterans returned, demanding to serve. The galaxy thought humans would scatter. Instead, they gathered. In a dark meeting room beneath Earth's military command, General Marcus Hale paced like a caged predator. "This is not the time for weakness," he growled. "They assassinated our leader in our own capital. If we do not answer, the galaxy will carve us apart." Other commanders shifted uncomfortably. "We cannot act blindly," one said. "The Dominion wants us to lash out. If we move too soon, we give them reason to unite the galaxy against us." Hale slammed his fist on the table, the sound echoing like a gunshot. "Reason? They killed our Chancellor. They mocked our people. What more reason do you need?" Silence filled the room. Hale's fury was dangerous, but it was also fuel. From the corner, a voice spoke quietly. It belonged to Commander Arya Voss, young yet sharp-eyed, her presence cutting through the tension. "The galaxy thinks we are broken," she said. "Let them keep thinking it. While they laugh, we prepare." Her words carried weight. Whispers spread in secret. Families grieving in silence began passing messages to one another: "Do not despair. Vengeance is coming." On mining worlds, workers began smuggling rare metals not to the markets, but to hidden shipyards. Engineers drew blueprints late into the night, designs for weapons faster and deadlier than anything humanity had built before. Scientists who once worked on peaceful projects now turned their hands to war. Energy research became weapons testing. Shield technology turned into armor plating. Medical ships were quietly refitted with hidden cannons. The galaxy had expected tears. Instead, humans sharpened their blades. But vengeance did not move openly. In the underbelly of alien trade hubs, human spies slipped through crowds, listening, gathering whispers. On the Dominion's border worlds, smugglers traded information for credits. A name began to emerge: a shadow group funded by Dominion lords, trained in assassination, armed with cloaking devices unseen before. It was not proof, not yet. But it was enough. The fury of Earth began to focus. Meanwhile, in hidden corners of the colonies, ordinary people prepared in their own ways. A mother taught her child to read not only stories of peace, but of warriors who stood against empires. A farmer repaired an old rifle and swore he would not be taken alive if invaders came. A group of students built makeshift drones and practiced flying them through ruined city streets, whispering, "When the time comes, we will fight." It was not organized. It was not commanded. But it was growing. The galaxy thought humanity's strength lay in its leaders. They were wrong. Humanity's strength lay in its people, millions of them, ordinary, stubborn, unyielding. At the funeral, Arya Voss stood among the crowd, her gaze fixed not on the coffin but on the faces around her. Grief burned in their eyes, but so did fire. She spoke softly to the soldier beside her. "They think we will kneel," she said. "But we will rise. And when we do, they will not be ready." The soldier only nodded. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from anticipation. Far away, on a Dominion warship, an admiral watched the human broadcasts and laughed. "They look so broken," he said. "Soon their colonies will beg us for mercy. They do not even know it yet." But in his laughter, he missed what was happening behind the silence. Humanity was not broken. Humanity was sharpening. Humanity was preparing. The whispers of vengeance grew louder. From Earth to the edge of known space, a single truth began to take root in every human heart. They killed our leader. Now we will make the stars remember his name. And the galaxy would soon discover the danger of mistaking human grief for weakness. Because grief could be quiet. But vengeance was loud. The galaxy thought humanity would strike in blind rage. But rage is not what came. For weeks after the assassination, Earth seemed quiet. Too quiet. Alien observers grew puzzled. No fleets were launched. No armies crossed borders. Humans did not shout war declarations into the void. Instead, they buried their leader and lowered their flags. The Dominion laughed again. Their broadcasts mocked the silence, the humans hide behind tears. Their strength is gone. Their fire is dead. But those who looked closer began to see something far more dangerous than grief. Humanity was not screaming. Humanity was listening. Deep beneath the oceans of Europa, engineers worked without rest. In hidden shipyards carved into asteroid belts, welders sparked fires that no telescope could see. The noise of creation was muffled, masked behind silence. Each project had a single purpose: prepare for war. On Earth, factories that once built transports now rolled out armored carriers. Civilian satellites were refitted with weapons disguised as communication arrays. Training camps appeared in abandoned deserts, soldiers drilling until their bodies broke. Nothing was broadcast. Nothing was announced. But across every colony, humanity was moving like a storm behind closed doors. The galaxy mistook silence for surrender. But silence was simply patience. In a hidden chamber beneath Earth's Defense Command, General Marcus Hale stood before a holographic star map. Red points marked Dominion outposts. Yellow lines traced supply routes. Small green sparks showed where human agents had vanished into alien space. "Every whisper we gather, every shipment we intercept, every move they make," Hale said, his voice low and steady. "We map it. We learn it. And when the time comes," he closed his fist, the stars of the Dominion collapsing into his palm. "We strike where it hurts most." Commander Arya Voss stood beside him. Unlike Hale, her voice was calm, almost cold. "The galaxy thinks we are reckless. We must not prove them right. The Dominion wants us to roar. Instead, we will wait. Let them believe we are broken. When they relax, when their guard drops, then the storm will fall." Her words settled over the room like steel. Meanwhile, in the shadows of alien markets, human operatives whispered in the ears of smugglers and thieves. Weapons were purchased through middlemen. Rare technologies were stolen from research vaults. Secrets passed hand to hand, carried by people who looked harmless but walked with dangerous purpose. An alien merchant once said, "Dealing with humans is like holding fire. Even when quiet, they burn you." Now, the galaxy would learn what that truly meant. Far from Earth, on the Dominion border world of Koresh, a patrol ship vanished. No distress call, no wreckage, just silence. A week later, a Dominion supply freighter exploded in orbit, its fuel lines rigged with human-made charges. The Dominion dismissed it as accidents. But their admirals grew uneasy. Too many accidents. Too much silence. And in the silence, fear began to bloom. Among ordinary humans, grief turned into determination. Colonies held vigils, But these were no longer just for mourning. They became oaths. People whispered to one another, "We will not forget. We will not forgive. We will answer." A farmer on Mars sold his land to fund a hidden fleet. A teacher in the Belt used her savings to smuggle medical supplies to soldiers training in secret. A group of orphans in the ruins of an old city vowed to become pilots, their chant echoing in broken streets, "For him. For Earth. For all of us." The storm was not just military. It was human. Every heart, every hand, every voice carried it forward. But silence cannot last forever. At a secret gathering on Titan, human leaders met in darkness. Holograms flickered around the chamber, each one a general, a commander, or a spy chief. General Hale's voice rumbled, "We cannot stay hidden much longer. The Dominion senses something. They are watching us." "They always watch," Commander Voss replied. Her eyes burned with quiet fire. "But watching is not the same as stopping. Let them watch. Let them laugh. The more they mock us, the more unprepared they will be when the storm breaks." One of the younger commanders leaned forward. "And when will we strike?" Silence followed. Every leader knew the weight of that question. At last, Voss spoke, "Not yet. The Dominion killed our Chancellor to break us. Instead, they have united us. When we strike, it will not be revenge, it will be justice. And justice takes patience." Her words were cold, but in the silence after, the others nodded. Far away, Dominion spies reported back to their masters, "The humans are quiet. Their worlds mourn. Their fleets stay still. Perhaps they are truly broken." Dominion admirals smirked at the reports, their confidence swelling. But what they could not see was the storm building in silence. On Earth, Arya Voss stood at the window of the Defense Command Tower, staring at the stars. To anyone watching, she seemed calm, even grieving. But in her chest burned a fire that would not be contained. She whispered to herself, barely louder than breath, "They killed him. They think we are weak. Let them. When the storm comes, it will tear the galaxy open." The storm had not yet broken. But already, the winds were gathering, stronger and stronger. And when it came, the galaxy would never forget the sound of humanity's silence turning into thunder. The galaxy had grown used to human silence. Weeks had turned into months, and still, no great fleets moved. No war banners flew. Dominion admirals mocked them openly, declaring Earth a fading ember. But on one cold night, far from Earth's skies, the silence ended. It began in the Karesh system. A Dominion fortress world, wrapped in defense satellites and guarded by fleets of warships. No one expected trouble there, it was too strong, too secure. And yet, trouble came. At first, it was only a whisper. A patrol ship reported strange readings near the outer belt. Sensors detected debris drifting toward the fortress. Ordinary rocks, nothing unusual. But then the rocks moved. Hidden within the asteroid field, human stealth craft uncloaked, engines burning blue fire. Before the Dominion could respond, missiles streaked across the void. Explosions ripped through their defense grid. Towers fell. Satellites shattered. The first strike had begun. General Marcus Hale stood aboard the flagship Resolute, his face grim, his eyes fixed on the unfolding battle. "This is no raid," he said to his officers. "This is a message. Let the galaxy see what silence has hidden." Human ships moved like shadows, darting between Dominion fire. They struck supply depots, tore through fuel reserves, and burned communication hubs. Every hit was chosen with care, cripple, not conquer. Break the spine, not the shell. On Dominion channels, panic spread. "They're everywhere. How did they breach the grid?" "Shut down the relays. Protect the core." But it was too late. Humanity had chosen its target well. On Earth, news broadcasts lit up with the first reports. The people who had mourned in silence now roared in triumph. Crowds filled the streets, chanting in unison, "For the Chancellor. For Earth." Across colonies, bells rang, fists rose, and tears burned in proud eyes. Humanity was not broken. Humanity was rising. The Dominion had killed one leader. In return, humanity had shattered an empire's fortress. But victory came at a cost. On the battlefield, Dominion fire cut through 3 human frigates. The Horizon, the Vigil, and the Serpent's Fang burned bright before vanishing into darkness. Hundreds of lives were lost. General Hale bowed his head as the reports came. His voice, though steady, carried grief. Every loss will be remembered. Every name will be written. But they did not die in silence. They struck the first blow of justice. Far away, Dominion rulers sat in their grand chambers, watching the chaos unfold on their screens. Their laughter had vanished. Admiral Zorak, one of their fiercest commanders, slammed his fist on the table. They were not supposed to move this fast. They were supposed to break. How do they build fleets in silence? How do they strike so hard? A counselor hissed in reply, "You underestimated them. You thought grief made them weak. Instead, it made them sharper, stronger." For the first time, Dominion leaders whispered words they had never said before. Humanity is dangerous. While fleets clashed in Koresh, Commander Arya Voss led another mission in the shadows. Her strike team infiltrated a Dominion research station orbiting a dying star. Moving like ghosts, they cut through guards and hacked the central core. What they found froze even the fearless Voss. The Dominion had not just assassinated Earth's leader. They had built entire programs around breaking humanity, biological weapons designed for human DNA, psychological warfare designed for human minds. They had planned not just to kill one man, but to erase a species. Voss's eyes hardened as the files flashed before her. So this is what they want. Not war. Extermination. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Then let them learn what it means to hunt a predator. She ordered the station destroyed. As her team escaped into the void, the star itself swallowed the Dominion's secrets in fire. Back on Earth, the Chancellor's memorial still stood tall. Flowers lined the streets, candles burned through the night, and citizens gathered beneath his statue. They had once stood there in grief. Now they stood there in fury. An old woman placed her hand on the stone and whispered, "You did not fall in vain. Humanity rises because of you." A young boy beside her raised his fist. "And we will not stop." The first strike was not the last. Across the stars, Dominion strongholds burned one by one. Supply routes vanished. Warships went missing. Outposts fell silent. The galaxy that had mocked Earth now trembled at every rumor. A Dominion fleet destroyed near the border. A supply line gone in a single night. Human operatives seen deep inside enemy space. The storm had broken. And the thunder rolled across the galaxy. But victory brought with it a dangerous truth. In a dark chamber on Titan, General Hale studied new intelligence reports. The Dominion was preparing a counterstrike. Not a raid. Not a skirmish. A full-scale assault. "They will not forgive this humiliation," Hale said. "They will come with everything they have." Arya Voss's eyes narrowed. "Good. Let them. For every strike they make, we will answer. This war is no longer theirs. It is ours." The first strike had been made. The second was coming. And humanity was ready. The galaxy trembled. For weeks, whispers had spread of human raids, of Dominion strongholds burning, of fleets vanishing into silence. The stars themselves seemed to echo with humanity's fury. But the Dominion was not an empire of whispers. It was an empire of iron. And now, it answered. In the skies of Zareth Prime, darkness gathered. Not night, not shadow, ships. Thousands of them. War carriers, destroyers, dreadnoughts stretching across the horizon. The largest fleet the galaxy had ever seen, forged in rage, moving with one purpose, crush humanity. Dominion banners burned red across their hulls, symbols of vengeance and power. The assassins had done their work, but it was not enough. The Chancellor's death had not ended humanity. Now the Dominion would finish what it had started. Inside the war chamber of the Dominion High Council, Admiral Zorak spoke with a voice like thunder. "No more raids. No more shadows. Humanity struck first blood. Now we answer with fire." A counselor, nervous yet eager, asked, "Where shall we begin?" Zorak's fangs glinted. "Everywhere." He slammed a claw on the star map. Human colonies lit up in red. Outer worlds. mining bases, trade hubs, all marked for destruction. Break their wings, burn their roots, show them their fury means nothing. The chamber roared in agreement. Dominion wrath had been unleashed. On Earth, the news of the coming storm reached the human war councils. Generals and commanders gathered in Titan's underground fortress. General Marcus Hale stood at the center, his face hard as stone. The Dominion has moved. Their full fleet. They will not stop until humanity is ash. Commander Arya Voss leaned forward, her eyes sharp. Then we do not wait for them to strike. We prepare the trap. A young officer whispered, "But sir, can we truly stand against all of them?" The room fell silent. Hale finally spoke. "No. Not head-on. Not in open battle. But this is not about strength. This is about survival. They think we will meet them like fools. Instead, we bleed them piece by piece. We will not give them the war they expect." The Dominion's wrath began on New Horizon, a thriving human colony. Without warning, the sky tore open. Dominion dreadnoughts descended, their weapons raining fire. Cities burned. Towers collapsed. The ground shook as millions fled for shelter. Human defense ships rose to fight, but they were outnumbered, outgunned. From orbit, Dominion commanders broadcast their message across every frequency. "This is the fate of those who resist the Dominion. Your leaders cannot save you. Your fleets cannot protect you. Humanity belongs to ash." The broadcast was meant to break human spirit. Instead, it did the opposite. Across New Horizon, survivors stood amid the flames. Fathers carried children. Mothers shielded strangers. Soldiers held their ground even as their weapons overheated. They bled, but they did not kneel. One Dominion commander, watching the chaos from orbit, growled in frustration. "Why do they not break? Why do they not beg?" Another hissed, "Because they are human. They would rather die standing than live kneeling." The words unsettled them. For in that defiance, they saw danger greater than any fleet. Back on Titan, General Hale received the report of New Horizon's fall. His jaw tightened, grief heavy in his chest. Thousands dead. But the message was clear, the Dominion had begun their slaughter. Commander Voss struck the table. "Then it begins. They want war. We give them hell." She activated a holomap. Human fleets, smaller but spread wide, lit up in blue. "They outnumber us 10 to 1. But every strike they make, we answer. Every colony they burn, we make them bleed for it. They will learn humanity does not fight for territory. We fight for survival. And survival makes us unstoppable." The Dominion continued their wrath. They struck Epsilon Ridge, burning its mines. They crushed Alio's outpost, shattering its defenses. They even dared to raid Mars, though human defenses there cut them down with brutal cost. The galaxy watched in horror. Worlds whispered that humanity could not endure. The Dominion was too strong, too endless. Surely, this was the end. And yet, reports kept coming. Dominion dreadnoughts vanishing in asteroid belts. Ambushes in nebula clouds. Entire supply fleets lost to human traps. Every loss stung the Dominion deeper than victory healed. Admiral Zorak paced aboard his flagship. His claws scraped the metal floor. "Why do they not fall? We burn their worlds, we crush their fleets, and still they strike back. Still they fight." A young officer dared to speak. Perhaps, killing their leader made them stronger, not weaker. Zorak froze. His eyes burned. "Then we will kill them all. Not one. Not many. All." He raised his claw high. "Prepare the final assault. Earth itself will burn." The words echoed across the Dominion fleet. On Earth, sirens rang. Children were rushed into shelters, soldiers moved to battle stations, and skies filled with human warships. The Dominion's wrath was not finished. It was only beginning. And now, the war was heading to humanity's home. The Chancellor's death had lit the spark. The first strike had fed the fire. Now the storm was coming to Earth itself. And this time, the galaxy would see the fury of a united humanity.